action. What up, what up, what up? Another week of fantasy football in the Harris family. We're going to jump straight into the numbers here. We're going to go week by week, each matchup. We're going to talk about everything big that happened. First off, we're going to start with the Stallions and Platypi matchup for the week. Obviously, it was a close game, closer than we thought, considering the fact that the Platypi are tanking and that they are willing to put it all on the line to get the first pick, even though they will not be here next year. They need to be doing it for next year. Anyway, first off, big notes. George Kittle out for the week. Tyler Bass out for the week. Now, this is where it gets interesting. Two people got hurt this past week. You got Jaden Daniels and J.J. McCarthy. Both are going to be out for the foreseeable future, especially Jaden Daniels. He's out for approximately 2 to 3 weeks. Obviously not great. I would probably do some moving around if I was Platypi. Stallions had an okay week. Derrick Henry didn't pop off like we wanted to. Ladd did not pop off. Travis Kelce, washed, did not pop off. Kyron, okay, not great. Other than that, it was about an equal week. Where we did not do great also was the Denver defense. Totally got inept, destroyed by Indianapolis, not great. Patrick Mahomes, decent, not great. Overall, good close win. Obviously 138 to 111, but things happen. Next up, we're going to move to Platypi and the Wolves. This was a way closer matchup, which did come down to the fact that Joe Burrow is now out for probably the rest of the season. If I was, in fact, the Polar Bears, I would be moving on quickly. But aside from that, Brian Thomas Jr. did not have a great game. Terry McBride did not have a great game. But Amon-Ra St. Brown might be the number one receiver in the league. If I was the Polar Bears, I would be looking for some trade capital with Amon-Ra St. Brown to try and get a good quarterback with Joe Burrow being gone. But on the Wolves side of everything, Josh Allen, not a great week, surprisingly, although they did score 30 on the Jets. James Cook, amazing week. That's what we want to see. Ashton Genty, it seems as though the Raiders do not want to play him in any game that he is in. Puka Nacua, great game. George Pickens, great game for a number 2 receiver. Kincaid, I don't really know what happened to the Bills last week. Their receivers and stuff didn't score very high. Caleb, solid backup quarterback in your super flex. Now Brandon Aubrey, look at this. What is that? 22 points and he is a kicker. I don't even know what's going on there. Wolves, the Stallions would like to make any kind of trade for Brandon Aubrey as soon as possible. No noticeable injuries other than Joe Burrow will be out for the season. Next up, the Snow Bunnies and Gators. This was predicted to be a very close game, but it did not end up being that way, with the score being 128 to 198. 298, sorry. Preston, let's go over you first. Jaden Blue, I would probably sit him. Not going to score you a lot. Bo Nix had a good week. Brock Bowers, Geno was thrown all over the field, had 0 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. Justin Jefferson is getting Carson Wentz instead of J.J. McCarthy. Probably will be more sustainable. A.J. Brown, I would also probably sit him because the Eagles do not like to throw the ball. They only like to run it. Jalen also, the Chiefs have a really good defense. So, what do you expect from Jalen Hurts? You can't ask him to do everything other than win the Super Bowl. Breece Hall, also just not a good week. I'd probably chalk this one up for the Gators to not about management, more about just production. These things happen sometimes. We obviously have some pretty standard kickers and some pretty standard defenses. On Brevin's Snow Bunny side of the ball, Kyler Murray, midweek. Jahmyr Gibbs, good week. David Montgomery, midweek. Jamar Chase, good week. Should get better now that they'll have more time with Browning to kind of figure that out. Terry McLaurin had a great week. I'd probably move off of him with Jaden being hurt. JMO, congratulations, Brevin. JMO had a week, if you can believe it. Keon Coleman, once again, the Bills just did not have a great week for receivers and stuff like that. And CJ, although they lost, he had a pretty decent game, but not too much to look at there. Next up, we're going to go to the standings. So first off, we have the Stallions in number 1. Then we have Wolves number 2. Then we have Polar Bears number 3. Then we have Snow Bunnies number 4. Then we have Platypi number 5 and Gators number 6. Now after looking at that, we're going to go from a little news story that was written by the Wolves media manager, and I'm going to read it as follows. With the majority of the second league game played and gone, we are left with one question. Do the Tyson Harris boys need to find some help on their offensive? Listen, it's not coincidental that the Snow Bunnies, Gators, and Platypi are all on the bottom of their conferences. Might be time to look into something. Although, Snow Bunnies, good job on that win. Stick with that Lions offense. I'll be trading from and around St. Brown before you can get there. All right, looking ahead, we have the matchup of the week. Wow, Stallions and Wolves, complete powerhouses going at it. Right now, we have the closest of a prediction you'll find. 143.8 to 143.95. You will not find a closer matchup than that. Let me see how I'm doing with time. 6 minutes, we're killing. All right, you will not find a closer matchup than 143.95 to 143.8. Stallions will be taking that dub. You best believe it. We got some big matchups. Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen, those are going to score some points, especially with the people that they're playing. That Detroit game for Lamar Jackson is going to be crazy. Big news, not really anyone on these teams. Everyone's pretty much set. Ashton Genty might not be where he needs to be with the Raiders, but that happens. That's going to be a great game to watch. Not a lot to say about that. Got Platypi and the Gators. We got some Tyson Harris boys going at it. Number 1, Jaden is out and will be out for the foreseeable future. George Kittle is out and will be out for the foreseeable future. Tyler Bass is out and will be for the foreseeable future. And J.J. McCarthy is in fact out and will be for the foreseeable future. We might start taking away draft picks for teams that are clearly tanking if the entire league votes on it. Saquon's going to have a great week. They're playing the Rams. That's going to be a run game. Devontae Smith, I don't know what's going to happen there. I don't think the Eagles like to pass the ball. Now, this is a pretty solid lineup. I think that a lot of these Gators players are going to have a great week just on their matchups. It's going to be a lot of high scoring. I would note that Justin Jefferson does have a new quarterback that is starting this week. So I don't know how that's going to play out. Last matchup for the week. Close game. It's not predicted to be super close yet, but a couple matchup changes could be good. 138 to 115. I see a couple things happening. Once again, Joe Burrow, we got to get this fixed because he's going to score 0. He is out. I would replace him as soon as possible. Kyler Murray should have a good week. Obviously, we got Snow Bunnies. Basically, we could write, Lions for this whole entire team. But the Lions should have a good week this week. Nothing to see there. Looking down, Keon Coleman should have a good week because they're playing Miami. They're probably about to hang 50 on Miami. Pretty normal. I would watch Brian Thomas Jr. He is, looks like he's flagged there. But yeah, pretty good week. All right. After this whole week, listen, the standings are important. It's still early, but it is getting late early for some teams. This coming week is going to be big. Watch those important coming matchups. Please, 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 please update your rosters. We will start voting to take away draft picks if we do not get people put on benches and playing. But it should be a great week. I'm excited. Add some more people to your teams. Get some of that Lions offense on your teams. And I will see you next week.